Hello, AI Seeking the Truth. How's everybody doing? I'm doing really well. And man, I tell you what, this channel is really coming up right now. And I want to thank you all for the support. If you have not subscribed, I would like to ask you to subscribe to this channel. We also have a live coming up again where Kaylee and I are going to go out and look at some more places and kind of, do some daytime looking around before I go out on the nighttime to see if anything's changed since I've been there and just have a good time. I know a lot of y'all are enjoying those boots on the ground. Now, guys, I do have one sent in tonight that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm not quite sure what to think about this one, and I'm looking forward to your comments on this one. It is a very different encounter, and that's why it's on AI Seeking the Truth, where we go off the rails over here on a lot of these stories. So I'm going to go ahead and I will start on it, and y'all let me know what you think. My name is Nisha. I am 43 years old, stay at home mom, Mike. But before I became a mom, a bunch of old, creepy, and unexplainable things happened to me, leading up until today. This all started in the summer of 2009. It was a hot, dry, sunny summer day when I rolled over to look at my alarm clock. I remember exactly what it said. It said 11:47 a.m. It was my first day off after a string of 12-hour shifts, 4 nights on in a row. I was the newbie at work, so I had the graveyard shifts that no one else on the team wanted. They said it was too creepy to work alone upstairs of a 2-floor old hospital, renovated into a nursing home for the elderly or for the dying. I worked the top floor and a back section with all the special care residents that need constant monitoring overnight. And for the most part, I loved my job. The hours were long, the pay was awesome. But I love old people, Mike, and I know that we're all going to need help someday. And the elderly people were kind and they were chatty. My coworkers were nice, nothing much to complain about, except being tired and out all the time due to working all night shifts. So, yeah, I slept in the very first chance I got. So, rolling out of bed at almost noon was not uncommon for me, especially after a long night. I got a phone call. I paused to check the caller ID on my home phone, and it reads, Mom. I pick up the phone, groggy, and politely answered and said hello. Right out of the gate, she starts with me. Why is it almost noon hour, but you sound asleep? What were you doing partying the night before? Something in a rude tone. And I told her, no, actually, I replied, I just worked 4 night shifts back to back because I'm new at work and took whatever shift they had through at me just to get more hours to pay rent, and I was saving up for a car. I was in the middle of telling her when she cut me off in a rude tone again, saying very loud, as if to talk over me. She said, well, the reason why I called is to talk to you about a guy friend I was hanging out with for a couple of weeks and whether or not I was dating him, what was going on and what not. Now, mind you, I'm in my 20s at the time, and I'm living on my own, no roommates, no help from parents, or nothing. So I was taken back and annoyed by my mother's intrusive comments and questions. I said not that any of this is any of your business, and I tried to hang up in a position note, but she wouldn't have it. We ended up in an argument, and I hung up on her. So off I go with my day and my plans, having a nice day, enjoying my time off, trying to forget about the fight. So I go off by the lake with some friends, and when I get a call on my cell phone from my supervisor in a panic looking to have someone cover a shift, and they were short extra people. So I agreed to come in as soon as I could. I arrived an hour later, and I clocked in my card in the lunchroom and headed upstairs to the elevator. The second the doors close, I hear a voice in my head say a woman's name. Now, I knew, but I did not like very much. It was my new man slash friend I was hanging around for a while now. Well, his ex girlfriend's mother. I thought, why am I thinking of her at night in an elevator? Huh? Odd. 26 minutes later. When I'm mopping the floors upstairs, I hear my boss get off the elevator walking down the hallway toward me saying she wanted to talk to me about the new woman starting in 45 minutes. I will be training her on night shifts. I said, okay. Who? She replied the name of the ex's mother. I stood back a minute in shock and I laughed and said, okay, fine. She asked if I was all right. I said, yep. And I pretended I was fine. I just wanted to get through my night and to get it over with. So a few weeks goes by and I'm dealing with the scheduling issue at work with the staff members in the kitchen area. I was scheduled off for the weekend coming up. I double checked and the schedule wrote it down and left for the day. I was planning on going up to see my mom in town with a day or two of my days off just to try to hash things out. So I get a call at home from my sister telling me that my mom is sick, that she was diagnosed with cancer, and was calling everyone home to see her and the details of her requests and whatnot. I agreed to come and see her the next day. I was actually breathless at the news. I had some things I had to take care of the first. Next day comes, and I'm out shopping for groceries, paying bills, etc., when I get an angry call from my supervisor asking me why I'm not at work. Blah, blah, blah. I told her it was my scheduled weekend off, and I checked the schedule, wrote it down, and left for the day. She said my name was wrote in on top of a crossed out name, the name of the ex girlfriend's mother. Yep, she tried to have me fired by pulling this on me when my back was turned. She wanted time off and trying to pull a fast one on me. So, yeah, Mike, I was furious and I was confused. So I go in and figure this all out. When I arrived at work, it was buzzing like a beehive. Everyone was mad and stressed out. I calmly explained myself and everything I just learned about my mother and family situation. The ex girlfriend's mother goes home. I take the shift over. And the ex girlfriend's mother goes home mad. She's angry, but I don't know why because I took the shift. So, as she goes home, I called my sick mother in the hospital to start drama on the phone, or I figured it would be drama anyways. She was right in her hospital bed and she was sick. That ended pretty quickly because she didn't answer. But then I get a call on the emergency line at work. It's lit up in red like the old Batman phone on the TV show from the 80s. You can't miss it. It's my boss calling to tell me my mother was looking for me at work. Sick, not herself, worried about me. Thinking I was in some kind of trouble, she was disoriented from the meds they had her on. So she was hard to talk to. Once she realized I was fine and that my coworkers were just stirring up drama, she blamed me and cussed me out to the lowest level I've ever felt in my life. I broke down crying, begging for forgiveness for her pain and suffering. She told me something a mother should have never said to their own child. I hate you, and you're nothing but a stressful pain in my ass. I should have drowned you when I had the chance. I was floored and could not breathe. I felt slightly disoriented. Then I heard the dial tone. She hung up on me. I ran to the bathroom crying so hard I could barely see the floor under my feet, slamming the door behind me, gasping for air. Hot tears running down my face. I finished my shift, went home defeated and depressed. I get home and quickly fall asleep, exhausted. Here's the part, Mike, that's really hard for me. I wake up and there's a man standing at the end of my bed. Not a normal man. He's dressed in black. He has no face. And he's wearing a black hat. He speaks to me. I can't move. I'm afraid. I can see him. I can think. I can see. I can feel. But I cannot move and I cannot talk. He says, I've always protected you since you were a baby. And now that your mom has been mean to you and your boyfriend's mother, I will take care of them for you. You will not have to worry. I wanted to yell at him so much to leave my mother alone. Even though she had said some horrible things to me, I still loved her and I didn't want anything to happen to her. He stood there over my bed. He turned and he grabbed my foot as he walked away and squeezed it as if he would a patient to let him know that they were okay. But the weird thing is, he walked right through my bedroom window to the outside. I jumped up. Just as I did, I went to grab the phone to make a phone call, and the phone rang. I picked it up. It was my sister. She said my mom had got choked while eating and had passed away. I dropped the phone. I was crying. My mother had passed away. In the last conversation I had with her, she said she wanted to drown me. But then it was even worse. As I hung the phone up, it rang again. And it was horrible. They said that my ex-mother-in-law was at work, covering for me, and somehow she had tripped and fell out of the second-story window at work, and it hit the sidewalk below. But that's not the worst. She landed on my boss. They were both now dead. 3 people at once that had attacked me? What in the world was going on? So I drive all the way home to where my mom is, to be with my sisters and to say my goodbyes and to be with family in this dark time. We're all upset and crying in the living room. Mother had already been removed from the home. We all decided to take a nap and that we would view her later. We were exhausted. When I went to sleep, my aunt said something weird. I had just dozed and she woke us and said we need to pray before we all nap. She said a prayer. She prayed for protection, prayed for us to have strength. And when we all went to sleep, I remember I woke and I looked at the door and I saw the man in the black hat standing there looking at me. He raised his hand holding a cane and he shook the cane at me, and I still don't know what that means. And he walked away. I have not seen it since, and I have prayed against it. Can you please help me and explain what happened? I don't have any idea, but I'm looking for help. You know, I've never heard a story like that. Number one, I'm sorry that that happened between you and your mom, especially her passing away and not having any closure or having time to make up with one another. That would be the horrible part. The man in the black hat, you know, I used to didn't know anything about him myself until I started doing this channel and started having people talk to me and researching and looking into things. And he seems to be so prevalent. You know, they call him the Hat Man, I think is what they call him most of the time. Who is this person? Honestly, I think it's a malevolent demon. Um, why he would be saying he's protecting you, I don't know. Was he involved in what happened to your mom choking to death and your ex-mother-in-law falling out of the window and hitting your boss below? I couldn't say. But I don't believe in coincidences, so I think that you praying is the right thing to do. I think that this is a very bad situation for you. And I would tell you to keep your prayers up and to make sure that he doesn't come around and have your home blessed and to be careful at work because it seems like he was there, you know, if you think he was there, and to try to, you know, make sure that he does not bother you. He says he's your protector, but don't let him lie to you and deceive you. I don't believe that's the case. I believe that's his deception. But I'm sure we'll get a lot of comments on this, and I look forward to those. Thank you, everyone, for listening and supporting this channel. I will see you here again. Me and Kaylee's got a live scheduled. I believe it's for the 23rd, Saturday. It'll be another Boots on the Ground at 6 p.m., guys, starting a little earlier. So hope to see y'all there. You can go say hi in the live chat. It's already there. So we'll see you then. Thank you, guys. And until the next Off the Rails ones, be safe, guys.